so much of life's fatigues we're experiencing is because we're not operating in our purpose. We're in the rat race of getting to a paycheck. And don't get me wrong, the paycheck pays the bills. The paycheck absolutely keeps the lights on and keeps the car in the garage. But nothing changes if nothing changes.
Wow, Sinatra.
Another day, another dollar I'm saving just to be broke. They say college was serious, but my degree feel like a joke. 4 years or less, I'm sane. I got it done, no playing, just to end up at my mom's after I told her I wasn't staying. Well, here we are, no question I'm a star. Just got some light years to travel, but it's just so far. But I'ma make it though, make sure you get your focus right. You coming too, it's about to be one hell of a ride. Yeah, this adults and stuff is crazy, they ain't warn us about this. I'm supposed to live my best life on an unpaid internship. I'm supposed to find my husband, everybody running game. I guess the more things change, the more they stay the same. Went from worrying about on flow to running from Uncle Sam. Now I understand why student accounts never gave a damn. Saving accounts be slipping, trying to work out, but I'm tripping. I forgot health insurance. Oh, I'm my mom's until I'm 26, so I gotta pay these student loans. That's adults, but the score doing the most. That's adulting, moving out of mom's house. That's adulting, but it's all gonna work out. That's adulting. I need a legal side hustle. That's adulting, cause these bills got me in trouble. That's adulting. The journey's course is never planned. That's adulting. Just leave it in God's hands, cause that's adulting.
Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of the School of Life podcast. Listen, I have truly been on a high from all of the feedback, love, and support that you all have been showing me. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. And I'm going to tell you why. Very big transparent moment. I have been beating myself up for so long because I had taken such a long break during the pandemic. And then even after I had got myself back together from all the things the pandemic brought, I still wasn't showing up and being consistent. And I really wasn't sure where the show was going. So to be able to come back for the month of March and have 4 episodes out and y'all love them all and shout them out and all the things, I just really had to take a minute to say thank you. And I want you to know consistency is my priority with the School of Life podcast for the rest of the year, okay? I see every single tag, repost, comment, DM, and I appreciate it and I love it. So speaking of love, y'all know that y'all are my community, right? Like, we in this thing. We are in this School of Life together, and I'm sure y'all been knew that since I launched in 2019. But I have struggled so much with naming this community, and I don't think I've ever talked about this on the show because I'm just like, hey, friends. But look, I feel like friends is not it. I'm going to be real. It's just, it's not giving what it needs to give, right? So I've been thinking, how about y'all become my classmates? You get it? Because, like, we're in the School of Life as classmates together. I know y'all like that. So let me practice. Hey, classmates. Okay, could have a little ring to it. Do me a favor. If you like that, DM me or tweet me letting me know, and I'm so serious. And the day that this episode airs, I will have a poll on my story on that Tuesday and that Wednesday for you to vote if you like classmates over friends. And if you have something better, just let me know because friends, I'm tired of that. Anyways, hey y'all. We'll just go with hey y'all. I am excited about today's show as always. Today we are talking about something that I know for a big fact others are struggling with and probably just don't know how to put it into words and definitely don't know how to address it. It's honestly a very real struggle of mine that I'm working through in this very moment as I am speaking on the subject. And that struggle is understanding the difference between working in your purpose versus doing something you're good at just for a paycheck. And that's, we're going to dig into it. But before I give y'all the deets, y'all know the drill. Grab your note-taking tools because School of Life is now in session. So recently, I had a very, and I do mean very frustrating situation in my 9 to 5 that made me hit pause so hard that I came to a realization that has literally changed my life. And when I say I hit pause, y'all, like I hit the brakes. I can't, not even pause, stop. It was a hard stop. And by the way, for context, I work in the field of marketing and communications, and primarily at this point in my career, I lead the writing of integrated communication strategies and then I execute them. All of that entails a whole episode that I'll do on how I got in that career. But anyways, back to the topic. For the first time in the 10 years that I've been doing this work, in the midst of that very frustrating moment, I said out of my mouth, I don't like this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And it caught me so off guard. I felt like I was having an outer body experience because this is what I went to school for, and this is, what I've dedicated so much time doing and perfecting as a craft. But it's like a light went off. And in that moment, I came face to face with two truths. The first one, just because I'm good at marketing and comms work doesn't mean that I have to enjoy it as a career. And the second one is that the gaps in my professional life that I have constantly tried to fill could only be filled with true purpose. And both of those realizations were, I don't want to say they stung, but it was like, ouch, okay, so this makes all the sense in the world. And you may be wondering, so how did I get to this place of understanding? The truth, burnout. But let me emphasize, it was a slow and steady burn. And if you know, those are the absolute worst. But over the last couple of years, I have been working at such a high pace that it's almost like I fell out of love with that craft, when the truth of the matter is, like, that craft was never something that was a purpose of mine. I know it could probably sound confusing, but if you know, then you know. Stick with me. Now, I am thankful for that burnout because it has taught me so much about understanding how I navigate and move in the world moving forward, and even how I choose the types of jobs that I want to have, and really just where my life is going, because I want to have the absolute control over what I'm doing, and I really want to enjoy what I'm doing. So the two things that are very important that I learned after my realizations of, wait, I don't enjoy this, and this is why there are gaps. The first thing is that I am really good at anything that I touch, and I really mean that in the most humble way possible. But because I am so good at so many things, it can come off as a passion to those on the receiving end. So for example, you would never look at my work and think, this girl threw this together, she must hate this job. That's never going to be the case. The level of excellence that I operate in is so easily recognizable that people automatically just feel, oh my gosh, you are so great at this, you must love this. Like, it literally comes off as a passion. And honestly, y'all, it's not. But here's the kicker, I thought it was. So for all this time, I was aiming to become a high-level executive and have the corner office and get these accolades and do this and do that, because I really felt like I am a integrated comms guru. Like, I'm that girl when it comes to your comms strategies. And I am that girl, but I don't have to be, because that's not fulfilling me. It is crazy. It's deep. So that was the first thing that, like, I kind of gathered out of the burnout, like understanding where I was mentally. And then the second thing was that my professional happiness is directly linked to how much I get to operate in my purpose. So for the last 2 years, as I've shared a little bit, I've been back, in the swing of the 9-to-5 world. And honestly, I have struggled. That's one part of the reason the podcast fell off. I was previously working in a job that I was just like, this is not it. Now, great title, decent pay, but it was not it. So I was struggling. And to the world, it looked like, oh my gosh, this is great. You're advancing in your career. You're at this level, blah, blah, blah. Like, the whole outer thing was looking like it was going on, and it was going well. But internally, I struggled to be whole as a professional. And for the longest, I could not put my finger on it. So I switched jobs, I switched industries, I got a salary increase. I mean, I did it all. And the truth of the matter is, none of that could fill that void. And it's such a crazy feeling. I'll even go as far as to say it's like a wild phenomenon, because I just came to this crazy realization. I went to college twice for these degrees and things that I was good at and somewhat enjoyed. I got the job, I worked for a while, and then boom, I woke up one day and said, nah, this isn't it. I don't want to do this. Another contributing factor to this light bulb moment was really just realizing how much creative brain juice I was using in my 9-to-5, and how much it left me feeling empty when it came to my own purpose. I was writing the hell out of social media campaign strategies, like writing them great, perfection, if I must say so myself. But I was running on fumes for the School of Life. And I always knew that my purpose required brain juice. I mean, I'm just a creative person, so that comes with the territory. But if I'm going to be honest, I didn't realize until that moment that I could not have enough mental energy and creativity for both. And boom, the purpose versus paycheck battle began. Dun, dun, dun. So how do you know if you're in a purpose versus paycheck battle like I am? And I don't even want to say was. I am still in this battle. I am going to war tomorrow. But it's a few questions you can ask yourself. Do you feel fulfilled? And how do you define fulfillment? To me, that looks like, is there a fire, even if it's just a small fire? Is there a fire that burns inside of you when you get to work? Are you fulfilled? Do you wake up and you're like, yes, I get to do XYZ? So that's the first one in understanding, the first question in understanding if you're in this battle. And then if you are, and you're like me, and you have to put on your battle gear, how do you win the battle? I know that's like the biggest thing. How am I going to get out of this to come out on the other side greater? The first one, you're going to identify your purpose. And this is always so much harder than it sounds. I know people just throw that phrase around so much. Identify your purpose, find your purpose, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to be honest. I can't tell you how to do that. What I do know is that your purpose is rooted in getting a better understanding of yourself. One thing that helped me was taking note of the moments that made me come alive in the professional and personal settings. So literally, I remember doing a presentation to a group of high school students last summer, maybe, whenever it was. And even in the preparation phase, I was so excited. I was literally exhilarated that I got to present something I cared about. I was speaking on professional development, resume writing, all the things. And even in preparing, my material, it was this fire that burned. And the fire didn't go away until well after the event. I was still on that high, like trying to figure out, how can I do this again? Who can I connect with? And that's when that's one of the moments. I've always known that my purpose was connected to, giving back to the youth. But that was one of the moments when I realized that speaking and encouraging people and using the skills and the knowledge I have to share with, high school and middle school students, like that's it. That's when I'm alive. So that is one way that I like to say, like, that helps you define your purpose. What areas are you coming alive in, right? So that's the first thing. Identify your purpose. The second thing, how we're going to win this battle. You're going to map out how your purpose can eventually replace your paycheck. Now, I want to put a disclaimer out there and say, This is not going to happen overnight. You are not going to walk into that job tomorrow and quit. You better not do that. I did not, and I have not quit my job as of the date that this episode airs. I will not do that. That is not smart because, the bills have to be paid. But you want to spend some time mapping out how your purpose can eventually replace your paycheck. You're going to be realistic and you're going to be serious about this. And you're going to be honest that this may not be the same income that your paycheck brings in to begin with. And that has to be something that you are comfortable with facing as like you plan out your budget and your finances and all the things. Another piece of this, you're going to strategize. Y'all hear me talk a lot about strategy. I write strategies for work. I've mentioned strategies a number of times over the life of the show. But you're going to build out your own strategy for your purpose to paycheck situation, right? So what information do you need to get to make this happen? Who do you need to connect with? What rooms do you need to be in? Who do you need to meet? What resources do you need? Do you need training? Do you need capital? Do you need to move back home to your parents' house so you can regroup and figure it out? Like, get real with yourself about what your strategy is going to be. Perfect example for me, going back to when I realized in those moments when I was preparing those presentations for the students, I'm like, you know what? I am going to develop the School of Life Academy for high school students. What all does that entail? First of all, mapping out what is the School of Life Academy? What is the value add to students? How am I going to get this into schools? Who do I need to connect with? Do I need to set up meetings with counselors? What can I offer? How can I get capital to fund this? Am I going to do crowdfunding? Like all of those things I've already mapped out and I'm currently working so that I can bring this purpose project to life and eventually be able to step away from the communications industry and truly operate in what sets me on fire, right? So again, map out how you can use your purpose to replace your paycheck. Eventually, okay? Don't go in there quitting them people's jobs tomorrow. The third thing, give yourself a timeline. Now, we can talk all day about what we want to do, how we want to do it, and, all these goals and blah, 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 blah. Y'all know how we talk. We set these New Year's resolutions and all the things. But when we don't put a timeline on things, they just kind of fall to the wayside. So give yourself a timeline. Now, when saying that, I do understand you need your paycheck because listen, I need my paycheck, right? But your strategy should be deadline driven and should be so strategic that when you begin to implement it, you're not missing, money. You're not going to be homeless. Like, we're not saying do those things. Like, don't do anything where you're going to be sitting on the side of the street because you cannot come live with me. I'm sorry. I cannot pick you up and take you to work. That cannot happen. But give yourself a realistic timeline based on the strategy. That may be a year from now. It may be 2 years. It may even be 3 years. But you have to know how much time it is going to take. And then in that timeline, get an understanding of what you need to do each day, each week, and each month to move you closer to your purpose. So as a short recap, how we're going to win this battle? 1, identify your purpose, right? Get an understanding of what you're here to do and how you want to do it. Number 2, map out very strategically how you can use your purpose to replace your paycheck. Eventually, got to put that out there. And then number 3, give yourself a timeline. Everyone needs deadlines, right? Now, I say all of this being very optimistic and knowing that you can do it. Like, I believe in you. But we also have to understand that being able to leave your 9 to 5 is truly a privilege. And so I do understand that and I want to acknowledge that. However, I am also wanting to push the boundaries of your thinking. I was just talking to someone a few days ago about how we grow up just thinking, go to college, get a job, work your job, start a family, retire, blah, 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 blah. The BS. That is not the American dream. That is not my way either. So with that, a lot of what I am doing now is unlearning and relearning and educating myself on other avenues to have a comfortable living. And so I want to do that with you as well. Now, the process is uncomfortable to get there because it's like going against everything that you know to be true about what you've been taught. However, if you want to see different results, you have to do things differently. So think bigger. Get help from those who have done what you want to do, and get clear on where you're going. That's a whole nother episode, like getting clear on where you're going. So many people I know are just not clear on what the heck they're doing or the direction of their life. But once you can get clear on where you're going, your strategy and like your life map, it just falls into place. So again, I just want to challenge you. If you're listening to this is your challenge to push the boundaries of how you're thinking about your life and what success looks like for you. So much of life's fatigues we're experiencing is because we're not operating in our purpose. We're in the rat race of getting to a paycheck. And don't get me wrong, the paycheck pays the bills. The paycheck absolutely keeps the lights on and keeps the car in the garage. But nothing changes if nothing changes. So if you want something different, y'all know what I'm about to say. You have to do something different. All right, I feel like I just preached to y'all, but y'all know I'm saying all of this out of love. The more I am coming to realize what I want out of life and how that looks so different, so much different than what I have been taught, the more I just want to shout it from a mountaintop, because so many people don't come to that realization on their own. And then once you do come to that realization of like what more you want out of life, you're like old and gray. Like, who wants to work until you're 70 and then you're talking about, oh, I'm finally going to Jamaica? What? Like, no, I want to go next week and stay for a month. Like, that's the type of time I'm trying to be on. I know it sounds so crazy and I'm laughing, but it really starts with understanding how you can work, but work a fulfilling career. Anyways, I can go on and on about this topic, okay? And I may even do a follow-up episode because I'm so passionate about purpose and just being happy at this point in life. But before we get out of here, y'all know what time it is. Homework. I know y'all love my new homework jingle. My lovely homework song. I know y'all love it. Anyways, this week, it's just a simple task. It's one simple task. I know the last couple of weeks I've been tearing y'all up with the homework assignments. I told you to write something, think about this, do this. But this week, you just have to ask yourself one question. Am I working in my purpose, or am I working for a paycheck? And if you're not, all I want you to do is begin thinking about what a strategy could look like to turn your passion into profit for your life. Now, I don't want to overwhelm you in the School of Life classroom, okay? So don't stress about writing an entire game plan. Don't do all of that. Maybe one of these days I'll do like a Instagram live and we talk through it together. So don't stress. You don't have to pull out your handy dandy notebook, but just begin thinking, begin visualizing, what could my game plan be? And I'll give y'all a quick example of what your game plan could look like for me. And I'm going to use myself. Y'all know I love using myself in, my own life. But for me, my game plan, as you heard last week, is investing. And so I've started the process of learning about real estate investing. I am working with a company that provides the resources I need to educate myself. I have secured the funding, all the things are working. I'm working the strategy. And with those investments, when I am able to see ROI, I'll then use that money to start building the life I want. So I need money to start my School of Life Academy. Unfortunately, I can't use, the money I have from my paycheck because I'm using that to live and run the podcast and all the things. And so I know that this will be at least a 1 year, timeline that I'm working on. But I have the game plan and I can see it, and I'm taking those steps day by day, week by week to implement the game plan. Your game plan may be something unconventional. I was saying that the other week. It may be something no one has ever done before in your family or in your close circle, and that's okay. But the more you can visualize it, the more it'll become tangible in your own life. All right, y'all, listen, I'll go on and on about this topic, but I'm excited. If you're listening to this and you made it to this point in the episode, I already know you're probably thinking like, ooh, I'm going to write this, I'm going to do this. And yes, you should be. I'm so happy for anyone who gets to that point. Lastly, for homework, as we wrap up. So you're going to ask yourself, am I working in my purpose or for a paycheck? You're going to think about your game plan. And then lastly, you're going to go leave me a voicemail, okay? Leave me a voicemail. Ask me a question in your voicemail. Share any new revelations. Share your new game plan if you came up with one. I just want to hear from you. All right, y'all. Speaking of voicemails, let's see what our classmate from Alabama left us last week.
Hey Jay, it's Jasmine. I just wanted to leave you a quick voicemail and say I thoroughly enjoyed the emotional maturity episode. It was something that I really needed to hear as a person who is typically led by emotions and is trying to do better with thinking more logically or responding more logically. And so, anyways, it was right on time, girl. But I wanted to share a really quick real life example of me exercising, right? Emotional maturity in my own life. So essentially this lady ordered some stuff or ordered some products and had not really heard anything from me. And so she reached out for a refund, and I kind of reached out and said, hey, this stuff will be here this day. Do you not want it anymore? And she just explained that she had reached out about a refund because she had not received the product and hadn't really heard any updates from me. And so she just kind of thought I forgot about her. But on my end, of course, like, I'm making sure the stuff is coming and all of that, and just had plans to let her know once the stuff actually arrived. So anyways, when she responded back, I would typically, and at first was kind of like on the defense because I'm like, girl, I didn't forget about you. And also felt like she was being a little bit spicy, via text, but you can never really tell someone's true tone. So I was like, okay. Truth of the matter is, I have not been keeping her up to date like I should, like I could have done better there. And so I just responded and said, hey, I completely understand. I'm so sorry that I didn't keep you updated sooner. It'll be here this day. I'll reach out when it gets here so we can coordinate on a good day to meet. So I was like, look at you growing, Jasmine. So anyways, shout out to you. Love the episode. Here's to growing and evolving. Love you.
Big shout out to Jasmine for checking in with us using the voicemail feature. Girl, thank you so much. Now listen, Jasmine has been an OG classmate who I absolutely love and adore. And super side note, she's also my favorite Mary Kay beauty advisor. So if you're interested in elevating your beauty, definitely hit her up. I'll be sure to tag her information in the show notes. By the way, this is not a paid advertisement. I just love what Jasmine is doing and who she is. And I'm like, let me shout my girl out. So you see what happens when you leave me a voicemail. If I know that you're doing something great, I may just give you a little free promo just because you supported the show. Anyways, y'all, that wraps up another fabulous episode of the School of Life podcast. As always, y'all know what I hope. I hope you learned something new or gained some new life insight, because that is the only reason this podcast exists. Listen, we're all in this together. Keep fighting, keep pushing, keep evolving. Talk to you soon.
Wow, Sinatra.
Another day, another dollar. I'm saving just to be broke. They said college was serious, but my degree feel like a joke. 4 years or less, I'm saying I got it done. No playing, just to end up at my mom's after I told her I wasn't staying. Well, here we are. No question, I'm a star. Just got some light years to travel, but it's just so far. But I'ma make it though. Make sure you get your focus right. You coming too, it's about to be one hell of a ride. Yeah, this adults and stuff is crazy. They ain't warn us about this. I'm supposed to live my best life on an unpaid internship. I'm saying, how I'm supposed to find my husband? Everybody running game. I guess the more things change, the more they stay the same. Went from worrying about unflow to running from Uncle Sam. Now I understand why student accounts never gave a damn. Saving accounts be slipping, trying to work out, but I'm tripping. I forgot health insurance. Oh, I'm my mom's until I'm 26, so I gotta pay these student loans. That's adulting. What the score doing the most? That's adulting. Moving out of mom's house. That's adulting. But it's all gonna work out. That's adulting. I need a legal side hustle. That's adulting. Cause these bills got me in trouble. That's adulting. Journey's course is never planned. That's adulting. Just leave it in God's hands. Cause that's adulting.